do you come from? And before we start into any mental load, I would like to invite you to close your eyes for just a few minutes, because we are opening a container here, and I really have the intention for you to anchor in a different state of awareness and consciousness over these 3 days. So we start with this moment and you start with yourself. So just close your eyes, take a deep breath in and out. Another deep breath in and out. Another deep breath in and out. And now just hold the intention in your sensations to ground yourself on all levels. You're grounding your physical body, you're grounding your mental body, you're grounding your emotional body, female and male energies are balanced. You feel at peace. And then you also ground your spiritual body, grounding the essence that you are. And then visualize a golden stream of light coming from above, entering your crown, flushing through your whole body. Every cell is being flushed with this golden light, flowing down into the earth, cleansing every cell, cleansing every molecule and particle of your system. And then connect to your essence, connect to the core being that you are, having this experience of being human on earth in these times, connecting to this awareness, the consciousness that is behind all of this, that is experiencing what you experience, connecting to the state of being that can always stay in a neutral space, because everything else is the experience that this consciousness is making. And then I invite you to connect with your spirit supporters and guides, whatever you feel connected and drawn to. Just set the intention. You can speak it out loud or you can just repeat it in your thoughts, that you invite support in to anchor these insights and the value that you will gain in these workshops in your most supportive way. And that your spirits are invited to send you signs and synchronicities to help you seeing the next step on your path. And then take another deep breath in. Feel gratitude for the support that you have all around you, that you can always come back to, that you can always connect to. And then open your eyes again. So, this is a reference that is our natural. There's someone holding the hand. Yeah. Do you have a question or is it just by mistake?
Ich wollte nur kurz sagen, dass der zweite Bildschirm die ganze Zeit da drauf ist.
Ah, okay.
Und man dadurch die Hälfte der Schrift teilweise nicht sehen kann.
Okay. Danke.
Bei diesem Bild macht das nichts. Bei dem ersten habe ich aber nicht gesehen, was da stand.
Moment. Ah ja. Now it should work.
Ja, perfekt. Und dann wollte ich dir auch noch ein Kristall geben. Das hat mir gerade eben, wurde mir gerade angezeigt. Da, wo du dieses Practice startest, du den Kristall in deiner Absicht an die Teilnehmer schickst, der heißt Anshina. Ich kann ja leider nicht schreiben, sonst würde ich dir das schreiben, dann können wir es direkt ausprobieren, wie sich das auswirkt. An mir.
Du könntest es mir schreiben über Telefon und ich schaue einfach auf mein Telefon.
Habe ich gefunden. Mach ich. Und das ist, um eine Verbindung herzustellen zwischen dir und den Teilnehmern.
Okay.
Mehr connected fühlen zu dir.
Okay.
Kannst du ja direkt mal losschicken. Oder?
Ja. Ja, ich schick ihn auf jeden Fall gleich los. Und ich würde dann auch täglich damit arbeiten. Das ist vielleicht auch ein Teil der Brücke.
Probier's mal aus. Jetzt komme ich im Raum an.
Okay.
Eine komplett vollständig andere Energie als vorher.
Wow. Okay.
Vollständig.
Okay. Es ist so interessant.
Und das hat eine Auswirkung von neugierig. Und in mir ist sofort eine Intention da, dass ich definitiv weiterhören muss, was du zu sagen hast. Und vorher war das so ein ein neutrales, mal sehen, ob die was Gescheites weiß. Also ich spreche hier von Energie.
Ja, klar.
Also von energetischen Verbindungen.
Mhm.
Und jetzt ist das so ein, irgendwas ist da. Ich verstehe nicht was, aber ich muss hier länger dabei bleiben und ich muss auf jeden Fall aufmerksam zuhören.
Mhm. Sehr gut. Ja. Es ist auch, ja, 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 es ist auch interessant, weil jetzt immer, wenn ich diesen Workshop halten wollte, kurz vorher hat Darek mich so richtig irritiert. Das würde ich mich so richtig davon abhalten wollen. Und ich habe aber heute gesagt, so nein, heute I will take care. Und ich glaube, das könnte auch helfen, da ein bisschen mehr Unterstützung zu erfahren. Okay.
Und er wirkt halt die ganze Zeit nach.
Mhm.
Nicht, ob du immer noch in der Absicht bist.
Ich spüre es.
Die ganze Zeit.
Ich spüre es. Ich spüre es. Es ist auch heute Morgen, ich habe dann wieder ein Video mit dir gemacht und ich habe das Gefühl, dass mein Energiesystem jetzt schon, also ich habe dann was gedacht und dann hast du das gesagt im Video mit den Kristallen, was jetzt als nächstes kommt. Und ich glaube jetzt auch mit diesem Kristall, dass das jetzt wirkt, auch wenn ich jetzt nicht mehr bewusst die Intention darauf halte.
Ja, weil du die Absicht gesetzt hast.
Ja,
Deine persönliche Engelgruppe führt den Rest aus.
ja,
Der ist nicht öffentlich zugänglich. Den hast du so nicht.
okay. Mhm. Danke.
Speziell für Gruppenarbeit.
Dankeschön. Okay. Ja. Okay, so when we have the attempt to understand our human existence, we have to look at something that is not so pleasant to look at, but it is an important part to address for your own ability to digest what is happening in the world, what is happening to you, and take steps from an adult and grown up position. And this is the origin of fragmentation. I call it like this. There are many words to describe this concept. I chose this headline. And the origin of fragmentation comes down to a few parts. And I will go into each part one after the other to explain what I mean about this. So, we are living in, you have heard about this word, maybe, probably, duality. But duality is, in essence, an illusion. So, this world that you see is an illusion. It doesn't feel like illusion, but it is like news from yesterday. Reality is not divided. Reality is, in essence, not divided. But what we experience here is the experience of separation. It is the perception of reality as divided into opposites. So we have the experience of contrast, good and bad, light and dark, up and down. And the most profound and most important experience of duality is I and you. Yourself, your consciousness, and everything that is outside of you, which is the separation part. And when you look at this from this concept, also everything that you can see, everything that is matter, also your body, is outside of you. And the interesting part in this constellation, in this human experience container that we are in, is what is happening in between. What is happening between your consciousness and everything outside of you. And this is very supported and more pleasant and more comfortable when the energies are balanced. But we will go into this also by scientific approach, because this concept is not something that just comes from spirituality and esoteric knowledge and esoteric wisdom. Also, quantum physics is proving this concept, this illusion of separation. We are on a point in this scientific journey, at a point on the scientific journey where they know that there is something, but they cannot really explain it. And this is the moment where spirituality and science have to meet to solve the final riddles of life. Because only looking with this one-sided brain perspective to these things will not give you the final answer. Can never give you the final answer. And ChatGPT, my dear friend, explained the illusion of separation in terms of quantum physics like this. Science doesn't prove that everything is one, but it shows that separation is not as real as we assume. And I want to show you this little video to give you a little deeper insight about what we are experiencing here.
Entanglement is considered one of the most weirdest phenomena in the realm of quantum mechanics that fundamentally distinguishes it from classical physics. Imagine you have two particles, let's call them particle A and particle B. When these particles become entangled, their quantum properties, like spin or polarization, become connected or linked to each other. In classical terms, we might think of two particles as separate entities, each with their own independent properties. But in the quantum realm, particles can become entangled, meaning their properties become intertwined and cannot be described independently. Instead, we need to consider the joint properties of the entire system. Here's an analogy. Imagine you have two gloves, one red and one blue, and you put them into two separate boxes without looking. If you were to open one of the boxes and find a red glove, you would immediately know that the other box contains the blue glove, even without looking inside it. The gloves are entangled in a way that their colors are connected. In the quantum world, entanglement works somewhat similarly, but it's even more peculiar. When two particles become entangled, their properties are connected in a way that if you measure the property of one particle, it instantly affects the other, no matter how far apart they are. The tricky part is that until you actually measure one of the particles, both of them exist in a superposition of all possible states. It's like having a coin that's simultaneously both heads and tails until you flip it and collapse it into one outcome. At that moment, the other particle knows which state the first particle has taken, even if it's light years away. This instantaneous connection is what Einstein called spooky action at a distance. However, even though the particle's properties are connected, you cannot use this connection to send information or messages faster than the speed of light. The mind-boggling part is that when you measure one particle, it's like flipping the coin and forcing it to be either heads or tails. The tricky part is that until you actually measure one of the particles, both of them exist in a superposition of all possible states. The entangled particles don't allow for direct communication because the results of measurements are random and unpredictable until you compare many measurements statistically. So, while entanglement is a remarkable feature of quantum physics that connects particles in a seemingly mysterious way, it doesn't violate the speed limit of light and cannot be used for faster-than-light communication. Imagine you have two particles that are like best friends. When they become entangled, they always know what the other is doing, no matter how far apart they are. It's like they have a secret connection between them. But here's the catch. They can't use this connection to send messages to each other faster than the speed of light. It's like having a secret language that only they understand, but they can't use it to have a conversation because it's limited in how it can be used. So, entanglement is this special connection between particles, but it doesn't allow for super-fast communication. It's more like a mysterious friendship that can't be used to talk across long distances quickly.
So, what is this? And I would like to go a little bit through the video and go into more detail. I also love the fact that this is blue and red. Probably you remember these two colors of the Matrix movie. But here they are connected. And this is what I like even more, because I would like to invite you to see this phenomena as what is happening with you on a daily and every second basis with life. So you are this one coin and life is the other coin. And it is about creating a relationship to life, to get entangled with life. And to get entangled with life, it is good to be aware of the reality that lies beyond the visible. All of this is happening while we don't see it. We are using Wi-Fi, we are using mobile phones, we use so many things that we cannot see, but they exist. And to get entangled with life and to make use of this power, it is good to focus also for ourselves in developing these attributes and qualities within ourselves. And when somehow I have the impulse to also speak about that, because it's just a little introduction. I don't plan to go too much in detail in this workshop series. There will be something in the future that is focusing more on that, but just a little intro, because there was an initial split, right? Because how did this world came to existence? I always ask myself these questions. Since I started thinking, I was asking myself these questions that we will address in the next 3 days, and I was also asking myself, how does this all came to existence? And when you think about unity as something that is all present and always there as the real reality, how did it happen that we are in this experience of separation? How did that happen? And there was an initial split. There was an initial creation of duality. And when I prepared this workshop and introduced myself to this video and different concepts, I felt that maybe there's a greater power when we start to connect, like to get entangled that way, like in duality, creating this entanglement again, creating this unity again, but in this illusionary separation. And this is just a little open question that I felt like sharing right now. And yeah, maybe as a goal for this whole thing, maybe this is the goal for life, to discover this special powers, abilities, strength that comes along with living unity in illusionary separation. So we continue. Let's get entangled with life. This is the goal. And for entanglement with life itself, you yeah, this image already shows that reason, or the cause what I want to address, to activate and develop your subtle existence, your subtle layers that is working energetically with life and all other energy realities that surround you. And at this point, I also want to address that everyone is trying to get entangled with life, because everyone is on their path to feel this connection again, to feel this connection to Source, God, however you want to call it. It is just that the methods of some do not support the best and highest good for all, and what doesn't support the best and highest good for all is just not working anymore so well. And it will work less and less and less, because we are being pushed by Earth, by what is happening in this universe, to discover these subtle layers, live from these subtle layers, and express from these subtle layers. And that's the reason why there's no other way than doing what is really aligned with us. And for this part, I would like to read a little part of a book, which is called For Elise. The original version is a German version, but this book is available in many languages, and I will also share it in the chat later if you want to check it out. I can highly recommend to gain an understanding of why we are here, and also having a deeper look in what I introduced to you a little earlier, the initial split of this universe reality, illusionary separation. Every living being in the universe is drawn to the divine source, doing everything in their power to get closer. Serving with unconditional love brings us closer to the source. We are driven by the never-ending yearning in our hearts. Humans often interpret yearning as sorrow, judging it as something negative. But yearning is marvelous. Yearning reminds you that you have a development step to take, no matter in which direction. This unconscious memory is buried within every human being. It drives us on, it gives us no rest. It may be the path we choose seem to work against us. Some even fight the need. Yet, this only a vent for how we feel, as the yearning grows mightier and mightier. Since we don't realize it's our own inner light calling, we become afraid and torn. Some of us become aggressive, ignorant of what's going on behind the scenes of world theater. The stage and actors play out a different script. It seems so many people and countries are waging economic wars, violently fighting for survival, but you know what is driving them. The author of this is Andre Namahimaya. And I will write the source of this again in the group. I think this is a very good summary of how, actually, it's a very good summary and manual how to create peace in this world, because ultimately this is what drives us. But the methods are just different. And what is going on in the world right now is still this outward orientated change provoking, which will ultimately, I really have to say that ultimately, never result in what we desire, because it is trapped in this thinking that we change the world by just doing. And this is really, from my experience, not true. It is just part of the truth. And maybe also you know it from yourself. I also know it from myself. I've also been there. It is also running away from truth that we are maybe afraid to face, because also spirituality can be very unknown, and also, yeah, it's something that we forgot to get to be used to. And then we are addicted to action, and this is what we see in the world so much, and maybe you also see it in yourself, in your own life. And true peace is created from within. And being also at peace with what is happening in the world. And for this, I want to tell you a little story, because this felt reference of alignment, of being centered, being at peace with yourself, is something that most humans just don't have, cannot access, because this reference is something that most of us forgot. And either way, your life pushes you to go into the direction and discover it. It might be connected to some uncomfortable experiences. And maybe you've had them already. But at any stage, we are I hope that someone picks up the phone. So, excuse me. Yeah, okay, someone picks up the phone. Thank you, universe. Yeah, so it is really about this felt sense of alignment, felt sense of centeredness. And I want to share a little story of a personal experience of mine where it is such a symbolic story that